so far in training camp. Let's bring in John Lou.
Well, guys, here's a close-up look at the Argos' $300,000 investment. Let's shake it a bit here so you can see some of the 300,000 pounds of ground-up rubber tires that forms the fill, and this field is getting its baptism by fire. Normally, the initial installation takes 7 days, but the crew's done it in less than 2. Now, that might not seem like enough time, but I spoke to the Senior Vice President of General Sports, the company that sells and installs this turf, and he assures me that the only work left to be done is purely cosmetic, finishing touches, and that safety is not an issue. The field is ready to play on. Back to you guys.
All right, John. Corey Holmes again. He had a first down on his previous carry and 2 yards here.
Well, and this turf, it looks fantastic, and it is a great improvement because Travis Moore last year and Corey Holmes both injured because of the turf at SkyDome in this very game a season ago.
Holmes was injured and had turf toe that bothered him all season on the opening kickoff right here last year. This stuff is way better than the green concrete they used to have here. Nealon Greene has that one batted down.
Well, so far so good if you're an Argonaut fan, because the Toronto Argonauts' new defense with this 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers has worked pretty well. Eric England had a sack in the first series for Saskatchewan, and this time it's Michael Fletcher coming right off the corner. You see him from the left side of your screen. That pocket collapsed on Greene. He had nowhere to go with the football.
And Nealon Greene is still being tended to on the turf. This is how he went down awkwardly here.
Now this creates an interesting scenario for the Saskatchewan Roughriders if Nealon Greene cannot go on. Rocky Butler is really slated as the number 3 quarterback for the Riders coming out of camp. He's number 2 tonight because Henry Burris has a high ankle sprain suffered in the preseason.
And Burris will get into the lineup, he was telling me yesterday, but only to hold on field goals, and I guess only in a further emergency if something should happen to Butler here. Nealon Greene is still on the turf at the 45. He had a good start going here to begin this season, and it's difficult to see exactly what happened to Greene and what the injury might be. Obviously, you can tell they're checking out his ankle.
Well, when Michael Fletcher came around the corner from the left side, Nealon Greene's left, it looks like he twisted him around. Fletcher comes from this side of your screen, and watch how he twists Greene as he goes to the ground. He just kind of disappears to the right, but he twists him around, and it all happens pretty quick. Greene reached for that left side immediately as he went down to the ground.
And obvious concern for head coach Danny Barrett. He was worried prior to the game about the newness of this turf. As we talked about a little bit, it took only 40 hours to get this field in play. And under normal circumstances, to get a new game day turf installation complete, it's supposed to be quite a bit more than that, sometimes upwards of a week. Now this turf is sitting on the old green turf that is here in SkyDome for baseball and was here for football last year. So all we're hoping is that the turf did not cause the problem for Nealon Greene at this point. But the injury is obviously very serious. CFL Live on TSN. Timeouts at SkyDome. So Rocky Butler gets ready. Not much as far as stats are concerned from last season for Rocky Butler on the carpet at SkyDome. The Rough Riders starting quarterback Nealon Greene, and they're applying a splint to his leg, as you can see.
Which is obviously not a good sign when they're putting the splint on to immobilize the injury. He's in a ton of pain. He's been helped by both training staffs, the Argos and the Saskatchewan Rough Rider training staff out there. You know, there was quite a pile on Nealon Greene as he was hit from Michael Fletcher. Fletcher kind of twisted him around.
Greene completed 3 of 5 for 21.
Well, he was off to sorry, John. He was off to a good start. He really was moving the pocket, looked comfortable in the pocket, threw the ball well early on. Rocky Butler, during the preseason this year, 50% completion percentage, and did not throw a touchdown pass. Saw limited playing time because Danny Barrett was trying to get Henry Burris and Nealon Greene ready to play after dealing Kevin Glenn. First to Toronto, and then he, of course, ended up in Winnipeg.
And both Greene and Burris had good training camps for Saskatchewan. Without question, both improved on their performance, according to Danny Barrett, over last year. Burris, with a training camp under his belt this year, was looking like the Henry Burris of old, according to Danny Barrett. But then you've got Henry Burris with a high ankle sprain, and he is available in an emergency situation only, as far as we know here tonight, because we've seen Butler warming up. He is the first quarterback to go in, although Burris down there does have a helmet on, and Butler does not at this point. Now, Burris has taken the helmet off just as
well.
I say
The concern is, and this is what we've been told, is that Butler will be the next one in there. But if they have to go to Henry Burris, and right now they'd be a play away, then Burris would become a straight pocket passer, not be able to move very much. So,
and that makes him even an easier target, obviously.
But obviously, concern across the field for condition of Nealon Greene.
Halfway through the opening quarter, in the season opener at SkyDome, another timeouts for injury. Wendy's CFL Live on TSN, and will continue on Thursday with the Ottawa Renegades in Winnipeg to take on Dave Ritchie's Blue Bombers. From your training camp tour, you say Ottawa looks like an improved team this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've taken some huge strides, and Kerry Joseph, to me, looks like is poised to become one of the big stars in this league. He just came into camp in tremendous shape through the preseason, looked very confident. So look forward to watching him play starting in Winnipeg. Of course, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be good once more.
Yeah, Kahari Jones to explode this season, I would think, with a superb receiving corps. Again, we're in an injury timeout. Nealon Greene is on the turf. They have immobilized his leg and are just preparing to get him on the cart and off to the hospital as safely as possible. We do understand that Rocky Butler is number 2, but we wouldn't be surprised to see Henry Burris, who wears sweater number 1 this season, in this game as well.
You know, things like this are tough for both teams, especially game 1 of the season. You've gone through a tough training camp, and you're just so looking forward to going out and hitting a different color jersey and not hitting your teammates like you've had to do all training camp, and then have an injury and a serious injury early in the game. It's tough for both teams. Both teams concerned for the health of Nealon Greene, and it's just one more time a reality check as to the physical nature of the game of football.
Danny Barrett was talking about the biggest improvement on his football team this year, and he said depth. And I mean, that's what the Rough Riders have been able to accomplish by adding a few key players this season. And now that depth is going to come into question. He's going to need depth to get through what would appear to be at least a few weeks without Nealon Greene, his #1 quarterback. Wendy's CFL Live on TSN. We'll be back. Saskatchewan quarterback Nealon Greene, left leg immobilized, is on the cart and ready to be taken off the field, and obviously to hospital for x-rays. Indeed, there's a great amount of pain and a tough beginning for Nealon Greene's 2004 season, just halfway through the opening quarter, and Saskatchewan's #1 quarterback is going to miss playing time without question.
Well, John, you mentioned the new turf here, and I don't think that it was the fault of the turf. There's Greene right there, and watch Fletcher here, Kevin Ivan here. Now, as Fletcher hits Nealon Greene and twists him, his left leg, which is the leg they put the splint on, flips around backwards and flies into Kevin Ivan's shin. As you see it come around right there, it racks against the shin of Kevin Ivan. Both feet twisted in the turf, which is what you want. You don't want your feet stuck like that often did in the old turf here at SkyDome. Both feet twisted in that new turf, and the back of his leg hit Kevin Ivan coming around.
So Nealon Greene will be examined in hospital not far from SkyDome here. And obviously a very serious injury. Leg splinted, so we would hazard a guess that a bone is broken there. Henry Burris is into the game, but he will be holding for a field goal try by Paul McCallum. Ball spotted at the 45.